Hi everyone, my name is Theta with an 8, and this is the regular State of Show video I try to do at the beginning of each season, this time for summer 2019. There was no State of Show for spring owing to our copyright fiasco, but normally we have one of these every 3 months. Today I'll talk about the inaugural live event, which just wrapped up, announce a bit of a last-minute live event for this coming Sunday, my unfortunate situation for the next few months, and therefore what we will actually be doing for summer 2019, and a couple other little things at the end. Now, the setup looks a little different, I know. This is the live streaming configuration for the camera and mic and lighting, and I'm still sorting out how to make it faster to switch between the two. Also, how better to arrange the whiteboards, but that's a different problem. I first want to again thank everyone who contributed to making this first live stream event so memorable and so much more successful than I had hoped. I'm sorry to the people whose schedules could not be accommodated, and I'm also sorry to the people who were free for most of it, as it ended up being a rather ridiculous investment of time. If you didn't see my tweet, the final numbers for the event was 60 hours streamed, an average of 62 concurrent viewers over those 60 hours, and 13 different streams ranging from an hour and a half all the way up to that ridiculous 10.5-hour stream on the final day. I was granted Twitch affiliate status in the middle of that 7th day stream as well. The attendance and the amount and quality of conversation was really beyond any expectation I had, especially in light of audio issues which made my stream completely silent for some people. I'm sure we had people wander in, hear nothing or hear poor audio, and then wander back out again. It does at least seem to be sorted out now. I had a fantastic time, and the opportunity to engage with those in attendance and have something more like a conversation with everyone for the first time has been a major highlight of everything I've done so far. The chatbot tells me that you guys sent over 20,000 messages to chat over the course of the event, sometimes to me, but often in constant conversation with each other, which was awesome. Twitch streaming is most definitely going to be a regular part of what I do from now on. It was not without hiccups, audio issues throughout, desync on the first 2 streams, problems with the clip server. Nearly every day had some new curveball to throw our way, and some were never fixed during the entire run. Thus, a few hours after this video, I will be pushing the first 2/3 of the event live to this channel with the audio repaired, with the other third to follow over the next day or so. These will be better than the VODs, the videos on demand that are on Twitch already, and they are almost otherwise completely unedited, which means that the first day still has desync problems. Additionally, and the first video explains this much, but I won't be doing this with future live streaming, putting up the whole thing uncut. This is just for this inaugural event, as I wanted people to experience it if they couldn't make it or weren't sure if they wanted to, just on their own time. This is the next closest thing, mistakes and technical difficulties included. I will actually unlist them after a while, as they kind of clog up the channel a bit otherwise. They will still be accessible through the website, however. I do intend to go through and create more edited versions, highlights basically, and probably will put those up at some point in a more permanent place. This will include not only collections of good moments from the long discussions of Neon Genesis Evangelion itself, but I'll also create more compact versions of the free-form question and answer sessions that popped up a few times during the week. There's over 10 hours of that free-form discussion alone to sift through. I don't have a timetable for this, or even a sense of what it will be when I'm finished. But it's a challenge I want to set for myself because of the possibilities it may open up in the future. Plus, I wouldn't blame anyone for not wanting to sift through 60 hours of video. I am again very grateful to everyone who showed up, even those who could only just follow or only checked out the VODs afterwards. Since I was granted affiliate status near the end, we had subscriber options open up, and enough people joined in by the end of that we gained some of the first benefits of growing the channel. I have to come up with 5 subscriber emotes now much faster than I thought I would have to, but it's a good problem to have. Do not worry though, I won't do any kind of absurd schedule like this again. 60 hours over 9 days, plus actually watching the Source series outside of that, was an enormous investment of time, and I am amazed at the number of people who were there for most of it. I don't intend to put you or me through something like that again, but it definitely got the live streaming side of what I want to do off to a running start. I learned a lot, and those lessons will help me create better content in the future. So then, let's actually talk about the future. The very next thing is another Twitch stream in 3 days, which I know is very last minute. This Sunday, July 7th, is the 1-year anniversary of the Darling in the Franxx finale, and that series has a bit of a special place in this channel's history. It was the first time I pulled off the week-to-week full spectrum analyses in tandem with the simulcast, and was still the period of largest growth in viewership. It was what I had originally wanted for the channel, and the first proof to myself that I could actually do it. At the end of that run, I said I was not finished making Darling in the Franxx videos, and I meant it. I have only mentioned this to a few people in comments before, and then to those who were at the end of the last stream, but I've been working on videos in the background for some time. Originally, I planned to release them on this coming Sunday. But, well, they are completely unlike anything I have tried before, and they have become oddly important to me. I now want to make sure they are not released until they are exactly what I want, and though they are one of the many things I worked on during the hiatus, they will not be ready before Sunday. But I still wanted to do something for that anniversary, and the number of times that our Evangelion live stream veered into people wanting to talk about Darling in the Franxx was practically an inside joke by the end. So I thought, well, let's do just that. I don't have any specific plans or points to make about the series because I've been working on a different sort of Franxx content. Instead, this is meant to be a chance to have a little shared retrospective now that we've had a year to think about the series. I want to hear people's interpretations or theories, or any observations or discoveries they've made in the meantime. Now that some people have seen Neon Genesis Evangelion and have a better idea why the two are compared, we can talk about that as well. We'll begin at the same time we did last Sunday, so 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central European. It will last about 3 hours, after which I will need to cut it off so that I can get to work on other things. And that brings us to this upcoming season. I have good news and bad news. The bad news might still be good news for some people, but it's still bad news for me, so I will begin with that. I have known for some time that the Alter Ego's work situation would probably mean no new long-form analysis for the summer season. It's part of the reason I tried the Casual Monday experiment last fall, which I will get to in a moment. It's something I knew was likely coming. However, I wasn't initially concerned because I thought I would at least be making the long-form flagship content in the winter season and again in the spring season, and so not being able to for summer wouldn't be the end of the world. And then, the copyright fiasco, cutting winter in half and annihilating spring altogether. You can now probably guess why the interruption was especially upsetting for me, and I didn't want to share this extra setback with you until I had exhausted any other possibilities. So that is the bad news. No show will be chosen for the long format analysis for the summer. The silver lining is that the one full day I have free will instead be spent trying to complete as many Land of the Lustrous videos as I can manage, though it will still be slow going. I'll also try to figure out exactly how to wrap up The Promised Neverland so that it isn't left hanging. Some of you will prefer I focus my efforts in this direction anyway, rather than choosing something new, so how bad this news is to you may vary. But does that mean I won't be looking at anything new? Well, no. So here's the good news, which I now realize might be bad news for some people, but it's a relief for me, at least, to be able to offer something in light of the alter ego's circumstance. For this upcoming season, I'll be doing a version of Casual Monday, except it will be more like Casual Thursday and Tuesday and Sunday, or something like that. I don't know which days. Putting the Twitch channel through its paces and sorting out most of the kinks opens up an opportunity that I'm pretty excited about. Those of you who were there at the end of this past Sunday's stream will have already heard this, but I'll basically be doing an especially casual look at a few shows several times a week through the Twitch channel. Sometimes this will even be within hours of a show's newest episode. Last fall, when I experimented with the Casual Monday format, I tried a handful of shows with a cursory look at each, tried doing a dozen shows at once, and I tried having regular segments varying from 5 minutes up to about 25 minutes on any given week. By the end, I collapsed our focus down to a half dozen shows, and I ended up feeling like that was about right for a balance. So Casual Monday as a concept was one half of this equation. The other half was what I learned from this Evangelion live event. In order to remember exactly what a person would know or would not know at any given point in the series, I was preparing almost all of my notes for each broadcast each day before going live. I made notes as I went along as if I were seeing it for the first time. This ended up giving me a good idea of how much time I would need to make an initial analysis of each new episode so that we could discuss it for an hour or so. So I'm happy to report that while I don't have the 35 to 50 hours each week required to make the long format videos, I do have the 15 to 20 hours necessary to talk about 5 or 6 shows in a similar manner to how we discussed Evangelion. So that's what we're going to do. Probably 3 times a week for 2 to 3 hours at a time, I will go live and we will discuss the newest episodes of whichever shows we focus on that have occurred since the previous live stream. For example, let's say we choose 6 shows. 1 premieres on Sunday and 1 on Monday, so maybe we do a show on Monday that covers each of those new episodes. Then there's one that premieres on Tuesday and another on Thursday, so we do a show on Thursday to cover each of those. And then maybe there's 2 that premiere on Saturday, so we do both on Saturday a little after the later one premieres, or something like that. Trying to do just 2 to 3 series during any one stream, and trying to stream probably 3 times a week, with the days chosen determined by which shows are chosen. I know this is not great news for the people who cannot make live content or do not like live content, but what I hope is that this will be the sort of casual look that I can do every season without compromising work on the highly edited stuff. Right now, the alter ego situation gets in the way of this, but it might not always be so. I hope to make this a rather permanent part of what I do, and this will be the season I figure out what works best. I'll be using my one off day to work on Land of the Lustrous this time around, but in the future, this might instead be used to edit the live conversations into something much more like the edited Casual Monday from videos from last fall. Casual someday. Now, in order to have a regular schedule for ongoing live stuff, we're going to take a moment before picking which shows to focus. I'm open to suggestions for what people would be interested in, but I'm going to wait a couple of weeks to judge what's available. From there, we'll start regular coverage, but I don't want to start a show right away that we decide we don't like, or fill up the schedule and overlook a hidden gem that we are unable to work in. Make sense? We might even want to focus something that is continuing from last season as one of the slots. So for right now, the only scheduled live event is this upcoming Sunday, where we will do Darling in the Franxx 1 year later. Again, that will be pretty casual, and if people want to start weighing in on next season as part of that, then that's okay too. Two last things, real quick. The surprising popularity and the enjoyment I got out of the random question and answer periods we had a few times have given me new ideas about a potential future podcast. I have nothing else to announce on that front right now, but just know that I heard your suggestions in that direction, and I think they have merit. The other is that this live event was the first time I have opened up accepting any financial support. And I was, overwhelmed, really, with the response. I was warned, and so mostly kept it together emotionally, I think. But as I said during the run, anything donated will go towards improving or expanding what I am able to do. The first thing was the music streaming service that is both stream and YouTube safe. There are a few technology additions as well I'm going to implement, but those are kind of off-stage things that you won't necessarily notice. However, I'm considering using some of those donations to go ahead and pull the trigger on the Vimeo hosting as the backup channel. I'm pretty frustrated with Dailymotion and the extra burden that its video limits place on my time and computer. I'm not resolved to this yet, but there's a good chance this will be something I go ahead and implement instead of continuing to splice things up for Dailymotion. I wanted to eventually move it to Vimeo anyway, so this may be a good chance just for efficiency's sake. So, that is the plan for summer 2019. In a couple weeks, I'll let you know which shows will get to the casual someday treatment and which days. The time slot will almost certainly be the same as the single stream days from the Evangelion event. It's something that the Alter Ego's job can accommodate. I know having no streams during the North American prime time excludes a lot of people. In some far-flung future, I think it would be awesome to do the current midday North America primetime Europe slot, and then also do the same shows in North American primetime. But I don't yet have that luxury. So, I will see some of you on Sunday. I will even try to see if I can't get some of our shiny new emotes ready in time, and I'll be taking suggestions for what else to do with those slots for those who are interested. Other than that, I hope to have another Land of the Lustrous video ready before too much longer. I'm still kind of recovering from the live event, and I want to rework the episode 7 script a bit, but I should be able to shoot it before too much longer. So I will see you again soon, I hope, either at this Sunday's Franxx retrospective or when the next Land of the Lustrous appears here. Until then, thanks for everything.